All right, you guys, we're back and we're live. Welcome back to our daily live feed. As you were logging on, if you would like to come work with me, suitsandposing.com is where you have to go. We do hair, makeup, suits, and posing, all the fun stuff when it comes to competing. You can also go to Sean'sCoutureCuties.com. That gives you everything. That gives you our posing, our suits, our hair and makeup. It will direct you to our Spotify channel, our YouTube channel, everything. So whatever one you put in there, it works. Welcome, you guys. As you get logged on here, say hello. If you are on Instagram, that's cool. Tonight, we will not be screen sharing because we're doing a program update night tonight. So for those of you that are not familiar with that, we do this once a week where we talk about prep, off season, posing, all of the things when it comes to what we do as competitors, right? So this is your opportunity to come on and type in your questions. We have coaches that are on here, like Jared just logged on right now. He's a coach, that kind of thing. So we have coaches on here that put their input in. If you have questions that you want to ask, I kind of talk about what's going on with my prep, my off season, all that stuff. So then that way we can kind of talk together. And if you have questions, maybe we can answer some of them for you, right? Welcome. And also up here in the corner, there's our Sizzling Summer Suit Sale QR code right there. It's also in the description box here on YouTube and on Facebook too. The link will take you there. So if you hit the description box, it's right there for you too. Whichever one's easier for you. They are selling quickly, so make sure you grab it. It is 75% off our typical retail prices for this particular offer. Not only is it suits, it's posing, it's hair and makeup, it's jewelry, it's lots of fun things. We have a golden ticket. Oh, yeah, your clients are up the sales. They do, Jared. They sure do. We have a golden ticket offer this year too. So what that means is when you purchase, you get double of whatever you want in the actual sale itself. So take a look at that. It's an incredible offer, and we do this once a year. So we have 2 big sales a year. This is one of them. So make sure you take a look, grab that QR code right there. Yes, we'll see you soon. So tomorrow we got a show to go to. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today too. We're going to talk about what's going on with my show stuff. And kind of go from, I've got a topic to go with that. But the first thing I want to talk about is what was launched today from NBC News, which was the now new height and weight requirements for men's physique pros. Did y'all see that? Did you see that little announcement that they put out today? So it went up on NBC News Online, went up on IFBBProLeague.com, all that kind of stuff. It's Tyler Mannion talking about how they're going to implement heights and weights for men's physique pros. Now, it's not going to translate over into NPC. It probably will eventually. But they're starting with the pros. So sale looks great. Maybe you can sell to me in person. Yeah, right, Holly? Every time I see you, you buy something from me. That's true. So they're going to implement this right after the Olympia. The first show after the Olympia is where this is going to start. And as Devin just commented here, I think it's a good move. I do think it's a good move as well. Men's physique is supposed to be the entry level, just like bikini is supposed to be the entry level for the women, right? So what's happening and what everybody is complaining about with men's physique is that these guys are bigger than some of the bodybuilders. I mean, they really are. They're big dudes. And it's just because they put on their board shorts that you can't see half their body and you don't realize how big they are until they get on stage, right? So I was actually very encouraged to see this happen. Classic physique already has height and weight restrictions in place. And classic is supposed to be a notch up from men's physique, right? Men's physique is supposed to be entry level, then classic physique is next, then 212, then open, right? So the classic physique weight and height divisions restrictions have kept the division in line, have kept it where it should be. It hasn't gotten out of control. It hasn't gotten too big. We see the same criteria go across the board. It's been really good over the last however many years the classic has been around. Men's physique has gotten to the point where some of these guys are bigger than the classic physique guys, and that should not be the case. That shouldn't be the case, right? This particular division should be the entry level. This should be the division where people can step in after training for a couple of years and do decent, So they want to keep it attainable. I think that's a good thing. And I actually hope that this kind of resonates and goes into other divisions as well. Now, I don't know how they would actually implement this into the women's side. So maybe you guys have some ideas, right? Type into the comments. It's really hard when we're talking about women and we're talking about height and weight requirements, because women are just put together so differently. It's hard for the men too, and that's how they keep the classic in line and all that kind of stuff. It's hard for the men, but it's even more so difficult for women because simple little things like how we fluctuate on our cycle, we could fluctuate up 5 pounds in a matter of a day. Guys don't have that problem. If I'm about to go into my period, I'm going to go up about 5 pounds. You know what I mean? That just is what it is. It's how it works. Some people even swing up more. So, in a matter of a day, you could be completely different, and you can't do anything about that. That's your hormones, right? So, structures are massively different when we're talking about women too. In order for our waistlines to stay super small, sometimes we got to get a little bit bigger, So I don't think height and weight requirements are right for the women's divisions. But what do you guys think? What do you think we could put into place that would do that? That would allow you to keep things in check? I'm thinking about like wrestling. Like wrestling, wrestlers, it used to be, they have to make weight. Now I think they do actually a body fat check or something like that. Or the way that they do it with wrestling in like high school and stuff is that you have to be whatever weight you are at the beginning of the season, you can't fluctuate up or down a certain amount of weight in that season. So I don't know. I don't know if it could be something along that line. I'm not really sure. So we've talked about the idea of height classes for bikini pros. I think that would be a good idea. I do. I think height classes would definitely help. Don't drop weight by not training. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, by not training legs because they'll be judging their overall flow. Correct. Which is good. One of the things that I've noticed, especially from doing live commentary at these pro shows and things like that, a lot of the pro men's physique guys are wearing shorts that are shorter and that are tighter. And that does impact their overall look and their flow. And I think that's a good thing. I don't think that they should be wearing these big baggy shorts where you can't see half of their body. I think that's wrong. I think that they should be wearing stuff that has a flow to their frame. I agree with that. But as far as the height classes for bikini, and even for figure, you could do this too. So I've brought this idea up before. It would just be a matter of implementing it and getting it started, just kind of like what they're doing with men's physique. So my idea with the height classes for bikini is that, when you get to the pro stage, you don't need to have like 8 height classes like they do in the NPC. You don't need to do that. You could do like 3, right? You could do A, B, and C, or you could do just A and B. I mean, I don't care. I would do 3 is what I would do. I would do 3 height classes. And then what happens is whoever wins each height class, they go against each other for the overall. And whoever wins the overall then goes to the Olympia, right? I feel like that would actually be pretty good. I think that would help to compare like physiques with like physiques. Because as we know, a girl who's 5'9" is going to look nothing like a girl who's 5'0", right? I know this speaking from personal experience because I'm 5'9". So, so I just would like to see something put into place. I don't know how they would do it. I don't know how they would do it with women. I think that maybe height classes could help. Because I think what happens sometimes is like we talk about this at shows sometimes. You see the girls who are taller, they have to come in a little bit leaner in order to not look like they're huge next to the smaller girls, things like that. You have to play your physique based on the girls that you're standing next to, right? So I feel like if you were able to play your physique next to girls that were at least the same height as you, you could fill out your frame to the criteria better. I feel like that might help personally. But I don't know. I don't know if that would be the right solution or not. I would like to see it tried. I would like to see how it works. Because the biggest argument with height classes for the pro league, because I did bring this up, and the biggest argument was that they would have to increase prize money. And I said, no. I said, you don't have to increase prize money because all you do, like I said, you have the 3 height classes. You compare those 3, whoever wins each class, you compare those 3. That's your top 3. That's your prize money, right? Your top 3 get your prize money. And then those 3, whoever wins gets the Olympic qualification, right? So, yeah, you can't do it with wellness, obviously. Wellness, but at the same time, that might help with numbers, right? So this is what I think happens a lot of times. And let's look at bikini because we have the most numbers in bikini, right? I know for myself, because I'm the tallest one on stage most of the time, it's a little bit discouraging to compete because I know that girls that are 5'5" are going to win the show because the majority of the girls are 5'5". You know, the majority of the girls are 5'5", so that's just average height for women. So you're going to see a lot more 5'5" girls get on stage. So they're going to compare better to each other. And guess what? They're going to get a better look than somebody that's my size. Right? So I feel like even having the height classes could be encouraging for more competitors to show up. Right? Just like we talked about with the point system, it kind of gives you I think I could maybe break through and get noticed here with the point system. It's the same thing when we're talking about height classes. Like maybe I can get noticed, right? Because I know if I was in wellness and I'm standing there and I'm 5'9" and I'm trying to be as big as I possibly can next to, I don't know how tall Francielli is, 5'2", 5'4", whatever she is, you know, I know that's going to be difficult, right? So if I had a shot at getting noticed at least and getting up into that top 3, I think that would be more beneficial. And I'd be like, okay, I'm going to compete more. Right? So I think that could be a potential win. Right? No, it's not about getting noticed when it comes to the heights. When we're talking about the 5'5" versus 5 foot. I don't say it noticed. I say it's hard for you to be compared, right? And when I say noticed, I mean like getting into that top call out. It's hard to get into that top call out when you're outside that average range. That's what I mean by noticed. And I'm not saying it's different from taller girls and shorter girls. I'm just saying because you don't compare well to the median range. You don't compare well to that middle group of people, right? So you're looking at an orange versus a bunch of apples. Those, you know, the girls that are the 5'5" are your apples. You got a ton of those on stage. And you got oranges that are the short girls and bananas that are the tall girls, right? Does that work with a comparison? I think that kind of works. We can put some pears in there, maybe. I don't know. But you see what I'm saying? Like, I think it's just when you're outside of the norm, when you don't look like you're down the middle. And I get that this is supposed to be down the middle. But my point is, you know, why take what we have at the NPC level and change it when you get to the pro level? Right? I mean, I would say keep it the same when you get to the pro level, right? Yeah, I don't think it would work in fitness because you guys already have 2 rounds. In fitness, you already have 2 rounds, and you don't have enough competitors. I mean, just in general, the fitness division doesn't have enough competitors. So I'm talking about more like, I think it would work for figure. I think it would work for bikini, and I think it could potentially work for wellness too, and help people show up a little bit more. I don't think quite so much for women's physique. I think that women's physique, again, we don't have quite enough competitors for that. So I'm talking about more of the divisions where we should have a lot of competitors on stage, right? Again, the entry level divisions. So you wouldn't do it to open men either. The whole point with the open men is so that they can get as big as possible, right? So you don't want to put restrictions on that. So it'd be the same scenario when we're looking at the women's side. I think doing it on the more attainable side for the women is what's important, right? That's what gets them to show up, and that's what gets them to compete more. So that's my 2 cents. I think it's a good move. I think it's a good move on this part, and I want to see more of this kind of thing happen because it just sets clearer rules, clearer criteria, clearer boundaries for everyone, right? So I'd like to see this happen a little bit more. And again, I'm not sure if the height thing is the right call, but it's something to try. You know, it's something to try. So to 5'7" back then. Well, when what Tyler said in the video today, which I'm sure you watched, Andrea, is that they are taking heights and weights now so that they can get an aggregate and they can get data that they can make into the standard, right? And Tyler did say that the height and weight limits are going to be smaller than classic. So you got to come in on stage smaller in classic than you will in men's physique. Just is what it is. That's what he said. So they're collecting data right now. That's why they're not implementing it until after the Olympias. So they got the whole rest of the season to collect this data, and they can make the best call when it comes to the heights and weights. So, they did that with classic initially when it started. They had the heights and weights set, and then after doing it for like a year, they realized that they needed to adjust the heights and weights, and they did. They adjusted it after like a year. So I'm sure that that's what will happen here too. You know, they'll kind of change it as they go and figure out what works. But I think it's a good start. It's a good place to start for sure. So with that, DC Pro I am this weekend. I'll be there on live commentary. So starting bright and early Saturday morning, I think we start at 9 a.m. with the men. Men are in the morning, women are in the afternoon. So I go from commentary with the men into getting my girls ready for the afternoon, into commentary in the afternoon. So yeah, I think it's a great start. I do think it's a great start, Andrea. I think they got to start somewhere, right? We got to make some moves. You know, change doesn't happen like that. You got to do something to make it roll, right? So I think it's good. You know, because that's one of the biggest things that's being talked about a lot is that the men's physique guys are just getting huge, right? So we gotta control it somehow. So yeah, DC Prem will be fun this weekend. If you're coming out, say hi. Of course, I'm going to be on the actual live stream commentary, so I won't be able to talk to y'all till I get off of the live stream, but I'll be there. This show is always a lot of fun. They do a great production. It's a really good production value. And like I said last night, if you're not there in person, get the live stream because you'll hear me and Leo on live stream all day. And we do educational commentary. So we'll talk about the competitors that are on stage and actually give feedback and critiques and things like that as we go so that you can kind of learn a little bit as we go along. So it's always a fun weekend. It'll be a lot of fun to be there in person and everything too and see it all go down. So I'll see some of you guys there. It's usually a sold out crowd, so it'll be a lot of fun. So with that, let's get into check-in stuff. So I had my check-in day today. Thursdays are my check-in days. So, yeah, it's a great show. It's a lot of fun. I came down a little bit in weight from last week. So just to recap where I was last week, I was a bit inflamed. I had a really bad hormonal breakout when I was going into my cycle this last month. So I went on some antibiotic stuff to help with that. And that caused me to get very inflamed. So it made last week's check-ins really bleh, like I didn't feel good about them. They're fine, but I could tell I looked inflamed, right? So I went off the antibiotics and everything cleared up. My skin's better. I mean, you can see it here on the live. I have no problem with my skin anymore, which is fantastic, awesome, lovely. And then my body is getting back to normal as far as digestion and all that's concerned. It's taken a little bit, but I'm finally getting back to where I feel kind of normal. It's crazy, like how much one thing can affect everything else, right? I'm that person, like if I take anything and there's a side effect to it, I am going to have that side effect. It's just going to happen. Like, you know, that's one of the side effects to this particular drug that I was taking is like inflammation and bloating and all that. And I'm like, oh, awesome. So I clear up my skin, but everything else on me is fucked up. Wonderful. Fantastic. You know, so whatever. I took it long enough so that my skin would clear up, and then I went off it as quickly as I could, and everything started getting back to normal. So that was a good thing. Going into this week, I feel like I am almost back to 100%. I still haven't been sleeping great. Did all the weird stuff, right? Yeah, exactly. It's like, okay, if you're gonna get like the weirdest freaking side effect possible, I'm gonna get that. That's what's gonna happen to me. So, yeah, the nachos also didn't help, but you know that's going to influence me as well. But if I'm you know eating something or taking some kind of a drug that's going to give me inflammation anyway, probably eating dairy was not the best idea. I just didn't realize it was going to combine all that and do that to me. I didn't realize that was going to happen. So whatever, made it through, is what it is. So yeah, so I feel like I'm pretty much normal now. Training has been really, really good. Diet's been really good. I am in, like I said, I'm in the 300 carb club. So I'm eating a ton. I'm eating a ton of food, which is good. My hunger levels are pretty decent right now as far as I don't get starving throughout the day. I was starving a lot last week, and a lot of that was just because I wasn't getting good sleep. And I wasn't getting good recovery. So my body was like freaking out because of that. So my sleep got better this week. Still not fantastic, but it's better. And I think a lot of that, again, came from getting that inflammation down just so my body can breathe a little bit. You know what I mean? And then we started talking about show plans. Dun, dun, dun. So here's the thing, guys. I was looking at tentative shows and stuff like that. I've been doing that this whole year and all that kind of stuff. I've just been playing it based on how my body is responding to certain things. But then I realized actually at Sundays with Sean, we were going through the show list. We were going through the show list this past Sunday, and I realized some of the shows are gone. Like they're not there on the list anymore. And I'm like, oh crap. I'm like, stuff's getting narrowed down. I was like, I gotta pick something. This has gotta happen now. So we have a tentative show date, and I'm not gonna make this like a big thing or anything like that. I'm not gonna make it a secret or anything like that either. So my tentative show plans, and again, this is based on my body responding well and doing what it's supposed to do and all of those things, is I'm going to do the Hawaii Pro, and that's November. And yeah, November. So the Hawaii Pro in November, and then do Japan right after that. So whatever that show is called. I don't even know what that show is called. I could probably pull up the schedule and tell you guys. So those are my two choices right now. I was looking at potentially doing Battle of Texas, but they removed Bikini from that. So that's a no. So unfortunately, that's a no. And then the other potential, which probably will not happen, but I mean, it's still a maybe, is Taiwan. My husband does not want me to go to Taiwan. So he doesn't want me to go to Taiwan because of all the unrest and everything, which I understand. But that's just one more potential option. So right now we're looking at the last two shows of the year, really. So the weekend of Hawaii, there's like 5 Bikini Pro shows on that same weekend. So I should make it right. I know, right? So we'll see how that goes, but I think that's strategically a good move for me. And then we'll see how it goes. I mean, that's the plan. So the plan is Hawaii and then Japan. And like I said, if I can convince my husband, then Taiwan, maybe. I was like, I was talking to my coach today, and I was like, yeah, he doesn't want me to get caught up in like a war or something. So I get it. Understand. But again, this is all going to be based on how my body goes. So I practice what I preach here. If things are going well, great. That's going to be what we do. If things are not going well, then we'll decide something else. We'll do something different, So, but that's what we're going for. So what that means is, Devin, I just saw Devin in your comment. That would be great if we could do Hawaii together. That would be awesome. Oh my goodness, that would be fantastic. So pin that right there. We got it. Hawaii together right there. So awesome. So, yeah, I think that would be fun. The last time I was in Hawaii was one of my best placings I've ever had, and that was 2017. I was in first call out. I was like, oh my God, I got first call out. Oh my God. I just missed top 5. So I'm thinking that's a good sign. We'll see. Hopefully this will work out for me. It's unfortunate there's no more shows after that, but my plan is as long as things go well and I get decent feedbacks, to stay within striking distance so that I can hit some early shows the following year. We're looking at February, March, that kind of thing when the schedule comes out. So that's the plan. So what that means is that I only have a couple more weeks of this massive bulking stuff. So talk to Jared about budgeting and out potential shows. I think set some options. Yeah. And that's the thing. I'm like, when it comes down to it, that's my plan, but things could change. I'm going to be very smart about this. I'm going to be very smart about my body and all this kind of stuff. If everything's responding and going well, fantastic. If it's not the end of the world. Right. Yeah, it seems that they removed Battle of Texas. I really wanted to do Battle of Texas for a couple of reasons. A, I love Texas shows. That's one thing. But B, I knew that my coach would be there. So the problem with doing Hawaii and Japan is that my coach may not be at either one of them again. So last year, like I really wanted to do a show where she was there, and that didn't happen. And then this year looks like that might be the same thing. Hopefully maybe she can go to Hawaii, maybe. We'll see. Because I'd really like to have her there in person. So we'll see how it goes. But strategically, I've looked at all this stuff. I've looked at my own work schedule and show schedule that I have to go to and things like that. Strategically, I just think this is the best option. Olympia is just a couple weeks before that. And I know that I've got to be smart about my body and about how I can maintain and things like that too. So we got to do what you got to do, right? Just got to do what you got to do. So that's the plan. So what that means is, like I said, I'm going to see Jamie tomorrow because she's going to be in town for DC Pro-Am. So that's awesome. Do a quick check-in with her, and she can see me in person and see how I'm looking. I feel like I've grown quite a bit. I feel like my glutes have rounded out a lot. I'm hoping that it sticks around when I diet. Because that means I'm going to have to start dieting very soon. So here's the other thing too, guys. When you put weight on, that weight's got to come off, right? That weight's got to come off. So I'm about 15 pounds over, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less based on the day, about that, where I need to be on stage. So I'm going to take this super slow. You know, if we're looking at November, then we're looking at November, October, September, August, July. That's 4 months. And we're in June. So means I got to get started soon. So hopefully my body starts responding really well. I've been off stage since June of last year. So I think it will respond pretty well as soon as I start pulling some food or upping my cardio. I'm on only 15 minutes of cardio 3 times a week. It's medium intensity, which is really light. It's just elliptical for me right now. So I get the majority of my intensity with my training is in my training, not my cardio. So I know once I start bumping that stuff up, my body should respond really well. Should being the key word. But you never know. You never know. And I am 41 years old, so I'm not getting any younger. So we got to take this nice and easy and make sure that I can take it nice and slow. You got to think about your skin texture. You got to think about your skin quality too. So guys, this is something you got to think about too, ladies, all of you. When you're going into these shows, your skin elasticity as you get older gets worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. It just is what it is. So you got to be careful about that. You can't be cutting and putting on a ton of weight because your skin's not going to bounce back. You may be able to get the fat off, but the skin's not going to come back the way it was. So you got to go slow. You got to go slow up and you got to go slow down, right? So if you put that 15 pounds on, you know, make sure you take it off nice and slow. So that way your body has a chance, your skin has a chance to catch up. So those are some things that you got to pay attention to. I work with a lot of master's age women. And that is one of the biggest complaints that I hear from women a lot as they're dieting for the show. This starts to happen like when they're like a month out from the show. So, you know, they're feeling really good as they're moving along. And then they get to that last month and they start dropping those last few pounds and that skin starts to not look as good as it did before. Right. And they start freaking out. And a lot of times they'll actually pull out from the show. They won't finish because they don't like the way that the skin is looking. So take care of your skin, you guys. That's a big deal. Make sure that you're drinking lots of water. Make sure that you're doing all your skincare treatments and things like that. I mean, keep that maintenance up as best you can. And the biggest thing that you can do, like we talked about, is just making sure that you're not swinging way up and way down real fast, right? How many of you guys have done that before? How many of you guys have swung way up in weight and then cut it way back down real fast? How many of you guys have done it? Don't lie. Raise your hand. I know y'all done it. I know y'all done it. I definitely have. Seeing the hands go up. Yep, I definitely have. So my first season, I competed. I only competed twice my first season. My second, when I came through, like my second season, my second full season. My second full season, competed a lot. I was like emaciated by the time I got to the end of the season, which was nationals. I was like a stick. And I put weight on really fast. Like in a matter of like 2 weeks, I went up, like not lying, I went up over 20 pounds in 2 weeks. Probably around 25-ish pounds. So in 2 weeks. I mean, a lot of it was inflammation because I ate a lot of shit. I ate a lot of really bad food. But I went to a Christmas party and I saw pictures of myself and I looked like a tick that was about to pop. I was like, that's not good. I was like, that's not good at all. So I pulled it way back down real fast. I did that a few times. I did that a few times. The last, I don't know, 6 years or so, I haven't done that at all, which has been good. I do go up in weight, obviously, but I go nice and slow, nice and easy. I don't binge. I don't do all those bad things I used to do. But it definitely was a thing back then. And it was like a thing where like everybody did it. It was like you just ate a shit ton of food when you got off stage. It's just like what you did. Like that, everybody did it. Now it's not cool to do that anymore. So it's not cool to swing up and down like that anymore. It's not cool to binge. Like, I don't know. It was a thing when I first started bodybuilding. Everybody did it. But it really can affect your skin elasticity really, really quickly, especially when you're getting older. You know, like I said, I'm in my 40s now, so I got to be careful about that kind of stuff. Once you start getting up over that age of 35, you got to be careful about that. That's when the hormones start changing. That's when the skin texture starts changing, all of that kind of stuff. So you got to be careful. So, like I said, go nice and easy. There's not anything wrong with having fun foods after a show and things like that. There's nothing wrong with that, as long as you can pull it in and stop. What happens is, and a lot of people don't understand this. And yeah, Holly, I mean, you're one of them that's open up about the emotional eating. Absolutely. You know, the problem is when your body has that sugar and stuff that you haven't had for months, it's like, holy crap, what is this? It literally thinks it's crack. So your body is addicted to it like that, and it craves more and more and more. So, somebody tell me the show so I can blow it. Yolanda, we were talking about this. It'll go back up, but I'm looking at doing Hawaii and Japan at the end of the year. So that's the two shows that we're choosing right now. Initially, we're looking at Battle of Texas, but they don't have Bikini anymore. So is what it is. I knew what you meant, Yolanda. I knew what you meant. Yeah. So going back to the skin elasticity and stuff like that, like, and don't go way overboard when you're done with your show. I'm telling you, you can really easily blow up 5-10 pounds in a matter of a day. I'll tell another story. I did North Americans. I think this is my second season I did it. And the girl that I went with, still good friends with her. She ended up winning the overall in figure. So I was in bikini, and she ended up winning the overall in figure. So she won a pro card, all that kind of stuff. But we were there till the very end of the show because she won the overall. So I was sitting there in the audience with her boyfriend, and I had one of those big Costco bags of pretzel M&Ms, one of the big family size ones. Ate the whole thing. I was sitting in the audience, ate the whole thing. And I didn't stop there. Like, we drove, and it was like a 12-hour drive or something. So when we were driving home, we stopped at like McDonald's and Dairy Queen, and we stopped everywhere. I ate so much, and I had so much sodium in my system. I blew up so much. My feet were swollen, and my tan on my stomach was cracking because my stomach was expanding so far. It was not cool. It was not good. Don't do that, you guys. Learn from me. That is a bad idea. It is a bad idea. So yeah, you need to be careful. You know, and I don't say this to food shame by any stretch of the imagination, because like I said, where I am at now, like, I'm eating over 2,500 calories. So I'm eating a lot. But even when I was competing last year and I was in prep last year, when I came out of it, I didn't feel the need to binge on stuff. I haven't felt that way for years and years and years. You know, I haven't felt like I needed to binge. You know, I'd have a few like really good meals, and that was it. And I was good. I was done. I was satiated. I was fine. Now, I will say the reverse dieting is hard. You know, we've talked about this before. The reverse dieting is hard because your hormones are all over the place, and it's your ghrelin levels. They go spiking, and you think you're hungry when you're not. So you have to be very careful with that. It takes a little while for those things to level back out. It took me about a month for my hunger levels to level back out. It was hard, you know, so you do have to be very mentally strong through that and say, I don't actually want those 15 cookies that are sitting over there on the counter. That's not what I actually want. My body is telling me it wants that, but I don't actually want that, you know? So, you have to be mentally strong through it. You have to be mentally strong through it in order to be able to stick to it, right? You cannot eat it if it's in the house. Right. No, you can not eat it if it's in the house. Sorry, I'm trying to read that. Does that make sense to me? Sorry, Holly. But yeah. So I think what you're trying to say is if it's not in the house, you can't eat it. I think that's what you're trying to say. So yeah. So just make sure that you put yourself into situations where that's not going to be a problem, right? You do have to actually think to yourself, I am not going to eat all of this. Like I have to do that. Like I had to do that. That was the hardest part of coming off of prep last year. But I was able to do it. And you can control it and all of that too. And it was good. It was a good thing. And I didn't feel like I was swollen coming out of those shows. Right. Because I was able to do it. And it's also a mental switch of, I don't need this food right now. I don't have to have it right now. I can have it whenever I want it. Again, going back to, I'm on macros. So the macros really helps. So if I want a treat or something, I can fit it into my macros. I don't feel bad about it because it's part of my meal. It's part of my diet. So it's a struggle, guys. It's not easy. So I just want you to know that this happens and it's not easy, and you do have to mentally focus on it. Okay. So if it's happened to you, you can get past it. But as you're getting older, like I said, now that I'm in my 40s, you got to be really careful about it because it will affect your skin elasticity. So you've got to go into your preps and into your off seasons nice and slowly, both ways. Okay. Nice and slowly, both ways. Right. Not ordering after the I had 10 cookies and brownies in my freezer. If I can survive my entire prep without any, I can survive another day or a week without 10. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Which show was it that I just went to? I went to a show a few months ago. I brought home cookies. I brought home like the cookie dealer cookies and put them in the freezer, and they're still there right now. I can pull them out anytime I want, and I just don't want them. I just have no need for them. Right. Look back and I say I should have let Jared have my crust. I love it. He took a whole turn. So that's too funny. Yeah, you should have let Jared have your crust. Yeah, having an exit plan is always a big deal. Like Andrea said, it sounds fun to order all those cookies and stuff like that. But if you are having a mentally weaker day than other days, those cookies are there and you can grab them, right? Jared's like, I was trying to save you. Look at, I love it. It was on purpose. It was totally on purpose. You took the whole crust. That will forever be the best Olympia moment. That's funny. Oh my God. He was just trying to save you. That's too funny. So yeah, back to what I was talking about before. Going into my last few weeks of this off season here, I feel like I'm in a really good spot. I feel like I'm nice and round, and all my muscularity is good. Thank you. Right. So I'm looking forward to cutting, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes, and hopefully I can retain the muscle that I've put on in the last year. That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that muscle sticks. As long as it sticks, I'll be good. I'll be happy. So peel off a little bit of that fat, keep that muscle. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, so I'm nothing changed this week as far as my macros or my cardio or my training or anything like that. Nothing changed. We're probably going to, I would assume, and I'll know this once I see Jamie tomorrow, we're probably just going to ride it out till we start to cut stuff down. And as long as I can keep my training intensity up, I think we're going to be good. I think we should smoothly sail into this. My conditioning has stayed pretty good this whole off season, so I'm happy about that. My biggest concern going into actually cutting is I want to make sure that I can hold on to the muscle that I put on. I want to be able to retain the muscle that I put on. So as long as I can retain that muscle, I think my shape looks great. I'm just hoping that I can keep it. I can keep that fullness and keep that roundness. So that's my 2 cents going into this week. I'm looking forward to this week. I think my digestion will be at 100% finally after all the medications and crap. My skin looks better, which, yeah, it looks fantastic. I think my Sculptra has really settled in very nicely. We talked about that a little bit too, so I'll explain that a little bit right now. Which, by the way, I'm going to be starting a referral program with Virginia Institute. So if you guys ever go, I have to put their info up. I'll have to put them on my IG. So if you guys go and mention my name, you'll get a nice little discount, all that kind of fun stuff. But I got to get that put into the works there for you. But So anyway, I got my sculptures touched up. And for those of you that don't know what sculpture is, it's like a filler. But what it does is it makes your body produce more collagen. So it ends up being your own body filling out your skin. So it makes the skin actually produce more collagen. So wherever you put that sculpture in, once it settles in, the sculpture actually is metabolized out, and it's your own body that puts the collagen there, and it's your own skin, your own filler right there. So what it is basically is it's like a filler, but it's your own body, and so it looks more natural. So it doesn't look like you have a lot of filler in your face. It just looks like your face. So I feel like it settled in really nicely for me. I don't know if you guys can tell or not, but my smile lines are pretty much gone. All of that. So that's where I really was focusing. I have pretty big hollows in my cheeks. So they put some in there. So my face did fill out quite a bit. It's a little bit rounder. And then, like I said, like this whole area in here, this is all nice and smooth now, which it wasn't before. There you go. Yeah, go check out the sculpture. Yeah. When you're still young, like when you're in your 40s and stuff like that, once you get into your 50s, it's not as viable because your body's not producing the collagen like it was. But when you're in your 40s and things like that, it's a good option. And younger, because your body's still producing it. As you get older, it's harder for your body to produce it. So that's when you start using the actual fillers at that point. And I do Botox, things like that too. Guys, help me out. I always forget the name of this. There is a neurotoxin that is stronger than Botox. And for some reason, I always forget what it's called. Anybody know? So I'm thinking about doing that because I've been doing Botox since I was 23 years old. And because my metabolism is so fast, I metabolize Botox so fast. So it'll look great for like 6 weeks. No, Dysport's not it. It's something I'll know it when I hear it. Dysport's actually softer than Botox. So with the sculpture, it takes about 4 weeks to get the full results. So when you initially get shot up with a sculpture, your face looks swollen because it's the sculpture. But what happens over that month is that your body takes over and the sculpture gets dissolved out. Diamond? I don't know if that's it, Holly. I don't think that's it. I'm gonna have to look it up. I cannot remember what it is. When I hear it, I'll know it. But anyway, it's the same thing as Botox, really. It just lasts longer. So, so I still do, I don't do lash extensions like the traditional lash extensions. I do Lashify. I do Lashify now. I used to do extensions. I just don't have the time. Okay, there you go. Whatever that is. So there's your answer. I don't know how to pronounce it. If somebody said it, I would know what it is. But there's your answer right there in the comments. But yeah, so the deal with it is it's actually more expensive than Botox, but it lasts longer. So you end up spending the same amount of money as you would for Botox, but you don't have to get shot up quite as much. That's basically what it is. So I'm considering doing that because at this point, it literally wears off in like 2 months and I'm done. Like I'll get it, like it'll look great for about 6 weeks and then it starts to wear off. So yeah, it's crazy. I never used to metabolize through it this quickly. I know my metabolism is faster now too. Now that I got more muscle, all that kind of stuff. So that doesn't help. If my metabolism was slower, I would have the Botox would last longer. But it is what it is. I actually think that in off season, it's probably going to burn through faster in off season because my metabolism is faster in off season. So, so I think it's actually probably going to be better once I get into prep, but we'll see. We'll see. Lashify does stay. So I hear that a lot from people when it comes to Lashify. You got to make sure that you get the charcoal adhesive. They have several different adhesives. Like they got the Whisper Light, they got black, and they got clear and all that. And those won't stay. That's a 1 day application. But then they have a charcoal one. And that's the one that will stay for 5 days. So I get my Lashify lashes to last for a good 5 days. So yeah, that's what I do. There's a strategic way of doing it. I do 3 layers of the glue. So you put one layer on, let it dry while you're doing the other eye. Then you go back, do it again, do the other eye. Then you go back, do the third time, put the lashes on, do this side, put the lashes on, and then you squeeze them. They're good. And then they've got the glass finisher, which is the what it actually seals it, and I use the glass on it, and then you're good for 5 days. So yeah, the Falscara is shit in comparison to Lashify. Trust me, I've tried all of these, at home ones. Lashify is absolutely the best. It's the most expensive one, but there's a reason, because it works. The lashes are the best. The actual adhesive is the best. So that's what I do. It takes a little practice, just like anything else. But no, those ones will stay on. Like, I'll put them on tomorrow and I'll wear them all through the weekend and I'll be fine. Like, that's what I do for the shows. So, if it influenced, I know, right? Yeah, they've got little starter kits. Just make sure that you get the charcoal, whatever. I can't remember the name of it. It's the charcoal wand. It's the charcoal wand. It's the most expensive adhesive that they have, but it lasts for 5 days. And again, do 3 coats of it before you actually put the lashes on. Then use the glass finisher in order to get it to seal. And you're good. And I've only had to buy the adhesive twice. And I've been using Lashify for couple of years now at this point. So I've only had to buy it twice. So once you buy it once, you're good. I buy new Gossomers all the time just because I like different looks with the lashes, but you can actually reuse the lashes too if you just wash them with some alcohol, that kind of thing. Which I have done. I've got a bunch of them that are just sitting there in case I want to use them, but I usually do buy new ones. But yeah, that's my go-to at this point. I just don't have time to go get lash extensions done every 2 weeks. So, and my own lashes are pretty decent now too. Like, this is just one coat of mascara. I haven't done anything to them. My own lashes are okay at this point. They were kind of rough when I stopped doing the lash extensions at first. So, anyway, that was a side note. But yeah, try out Lashify. That's my go-to. There's a bunch of YouTube tutorials and stuff too. So that's what I did too. I watched a bunch of YouTube tutorials to get tips. And so then that way I kind of tried a couple of different applications so I could figure it out. I also do the bricklaying method sometimes too. Like, if I want really thick ones, I'll do them and I'll layer like 2 layers of lashes if I want thicker ones. I don't do that all the time, but I do that. I also use it when I'm doing like photo shoots, because I'll do the regular lashes on over top of my lash line, and then I'll do the Lashify underneath, and it makes like that double look with the lashes, which is really pretty for shoots and stuff. I wouldn't do that every day, but I do it for shoots. And for stage. I've done it for stage too. Actually, my last 2 shows last year, that's what I did. I did the double look. So, yeah, I think that's everything. That was a random tangent, guys. So, with that, tomorrow I will see some of you guys at the show. I'm going to head over there tomorrow afternoon. I've got clients all morning, so I'll head over there tomorrow afternoon and be at the show from tomorrow until Sunday. So I'll be there all weekend. And that's it. So it's gonna be a good time. So, suit sale right here. If you need a suit, posing, hair and makeup, jewelry, your travel case, your boutique stuff, the activewear, all of it's there. All of it's there in this package, and it's all freaking 75% off. So scan that QR code. You get to work personally with me. The link is also in the description box on YouTube and on Facebook. So click on that if that's easier for you. And come work with me. Cool. All right, guys. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your evening. I am going to log off now. Get stuff ready to pack up for tomorrow. Clean all my makeup brushes and stuff, because I got clients on Saturday too that are competing. And we're going to have a great time. All right. Have a great night, you guys. And we'll be back again with more live feeds on Tuesday. We're back Tuesday. All right. Good night, guys.